Pond Corner. Today I'm going to pre-cook 3 pounds of bacon ends and pieces so that I can put it pre-cooked in the freezer and then just pull out a couple of pieces at a time as I want to warm it up for us to eat. It'll be nice and crispy that way, and I will save my my bacon grease in a jar and put it in the refrigerator at the end of it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees. You want to bake this, you not broil it. And you don't want to do this project when you have to leave the house. You want to be able to be here to watch everything while it's happening. You can line, if you want easier cleanup, you can line your pans with foil, but I found it's just as simple for me to soak them a little bit and wash them. I'm using quarter sheet pans, which are about 1 inch deep, and that's plenty deep to hold the fat that comes out of the bacon amount that will fill this pan. If your pans are more shallow, you're going to need to check it more often and drain the fat off as it comes out. Bacon has gotten very expensive, and it's kind of hard to justify spending $4 a pound for something that's mostly fat. The nice thing about the bacon ends and pieces that I have found is that it has a lot of flavor. We use our bacon for breakfast, but mostly we use our bacon on sandwiches or as seasoning. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't have a lot of nice nice straight slices, although this particular package surprisingly is got a lot of them, but you don't always have that. Sometimes it's all big pieces if they're, and but this is so for $8 I got 3 full pounds, and I've noticed that this kind of bacon has a lot more flavor. It seems to be a higher quality than the bargain brand of bacon that's sold by the pound in the stores. So this is really a much better bargain in the long run for that reason too. I've talked earlier about budget abundance, and to me budget abundance means not sacrificing quality, finding new ways to have the quality that we want without spending excessively. So if I can't have the best of something, then I'll find what my limit is on the lesser quality that I'll take. And in this case, it's appearance. We want flavor more than we want appearance in our bacon, and so that's what we're going to get here. I'm laying all my bacon out right up against each other, one layer. I don't want it piled on top of each other because it'll stick, but I can have it be next to each other because it will shrink enough as it cooks that it will separate itself, and I can fill up my pan that way. I like to be sure that I've got fat pieces all around the edges to be sure that I don't have some lean meat sticking out there without fat around it to help it cook. All right, there's one.
What temperature do you do this at?
I'm going to do this at 350 degrees. I'm going to check it after 30 minutes and see how it's coming along. Sometimes my bacon just depends on how thickly sliced it is. If it happens to be a batch of ends and pieces that were sliced really thinly, a lot of it might be done in 30 minutes. Some of it might take it an hour before it's done to my specifications. What I do with it then is after I drain it, cool it off, and then I'll come back at the end and show you, but I put it in a container, and when we want some, I just pull out however much we need, however many pieces we need, and it reheats great in just a dry skillet. We don't have a microwave, and so I just use a dry skillet to heat it in. and it gets lovely and crisp. See, there's a thick piece. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cook that as is because I'll be able to chop it up for seasonings later rather than try to slice it thin right now. A piece like this, once it's cooked and in the freezer, then if I want some bacon bits for salad, I'll go through and I'll pull out my thick pieces and chop them up into bacon bits and use them for my salads. A piece like this, a nice big thick chunk like that of lean meat, I'll go ahead and cook like this, and then when I'm cooking a pot of beans or some greens and I want some nice meat, something that's got liquid in it that I'm going to cook, I'll take pieces like this out and include them as my seasoning for those dishes. I only have 2 of these pans, so I have to usually do a third pan. After I get the first 2 cooked, I have to go back and empty one and then refill it and add some more to it. So that's what's going to happen this time too. I'm going to put my thickest pieces on the outside here and my thinner pieces on the inside. That way I don't have little thin pieces out there burning on the outside edges. Never do this if you can't stay in the house to watch it. never turn your broiler on with it. It'll catch it on fire. So you want to stay put. There's my preheated oven. All right, let me wash my hands and I'll pop those in the oven. Welcome back. I've cooked all 3 pounds of my bacon, and I wanted to show you what it looks like. When it was done, it took about an hour for the first 2 pans to be done to our liking, and about 45 minutes for the third pan. Paul wanted me to remind you that you can use this method to cook any kind of bacon. This is actually a restaurant method, and it's very effective. I wanted to show you how nice the bacon looks when it's done. I got fortunate in this batch of bacon ends, and I had some nice long slices there. But see how nice and flat it lays. And then here's that piece that was so thick that I'll heat up and cut up for bacon bits in things. See how nice and brown it got? And everything just lays so flat. And then I wanted to show you too, for the third pan, I had some big chunks, and so I didn't cook them as long because I wanted them to be nice and tender, and I wanted to show you kind of how that looks. So you can adjust the time that you cook it, and it'll still to what your liking is. And see, that'll be beautiful to put in a pot of beans, and it'll still be nice and tender. I got 1 pound and 5 ounces of cooked bacon out of this, and 8 ounces of nice bacon grease. And so that's what? That's a 1 pound and 14 ounces of edible product out of that 3 pounds. So there's hardly any moisture that in this kind of bacon compared to some of the kind that you buy. But you can do this with any brand that you like, and it makes it so handy and so nice to have an easy access. When the kids were at home, we'd make a big batch of pancakes, or Paul would especially, and he'd make up a big batch on the weekends, and when they cool, he'd put 2 pancakes and a slice of bacon in a baggie, and he'd stack those baggies in the fridge. Well, in the morning, getting ready for school, the kids could come in and they could grab a couple of pancakes and a piece of bacon and put them on a plate and microwave them, and they could have a nice hot breakfast before school. I store these in a Tupperware container, but you could use the same kind of container that you use for the sausage that we made the other day. And I just put these right in the freezer, and it'll keep indefinitely. Enjoy!